I've been meaning to come to one of these meetings for a long time. It's kind of cool to meet some of the people I've been emailing, off and on for years. Matrix and Richard and all you guys. So it's really cool that you guys get together and do this. It's awesome. And I haven't really been able to come because I've been doing a lot of touring with Jean-Jacques Perret. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's a French electronic music pioneer. And he's 81 years old, and we've put out 2 albums, which I brought with me, which came out on Oglio Records. This one came out in 2006, and this one came out in 2008. And then I just released my solo mode project last month, and Jean-Jacques makes an appearance on that too. And also we have some guest artists who appear on those things like Dick Hyman and Vinnie Bell, people like that, kind of your vintage studio cats, so that's really fun. Today I brought, I do have a modular, by the way. I didn't want to bring that, but here's a picture of me and my modular. It's mostly .com. It's a 66-space modular with some custom modules, some of which I actually silk-screened myself in between projects. But I brought 2 things today that I figured people really hadn't seen before. It's pretty rare. And one is the Ondioline, which is a French vacuum tube-based synthesizer. And that's about 50 years old. That was actually given to me by Jean-Jacques. I had it in the shop for about 5 months, and it's not really working very well, but I'm going to fire it up for you after I get done here. It's not in tune, but at least you can see some of the technology that isn't really being used anymore. It's all, like I said, vacuum tube based, and the most interesting thing about it is that it has a keyboard that oscillates from left to right, so you're able to do manual vibrato. I'm just going to fire it up right now. And so it takes a little while to warm up, and I wish it was in tune. But it has this knee lever, which is an overall volume expression lever. It's kind of very erratic. It takes a while to warm up, too. Thank you. All right, so we're not getting really true octaves here. See, it's very off. But the coolest thing about it is it's not only touch sensitive, but it actually will give you a vibrato by manually moving your finger back and forth like a guitarist or a violinist. Let's see, we're not getting concert pitch, but anyway, at least you get the idea. Like microtones. And then it has a 15 switch filter bank here, which is pretty unique. And so you're able to get some reed and horn type of sounds. And then by flipping them on and off, if you've heard any of Jean-Jacques' records, you've heard this sound. And that's just by flipping one of these filters on and off real fast, so you're getting 2 different tonalities kind of thrown together. It also has its own vibrato if you want to do an automatic vibrato. Different speeds. And then it has a repeater function built into it as well. Sounds like pitch. Not bad. Anyway, you never know what this thing is going to work or not. Let's see what else. It has a percussion function. Let's see which one is on. See, it kind of decays. Interesting that I got pitch out of it before. But anyway, I spent a lot of money trying to get this thing working properly, and a couple times it has worked, and I've actually been able to record with it. Sweet. But you got to kind of grab it while you can. I thought I need to sample it at some point and get some of the basic sounds stored on digital format. The other thing I brought is a homemade contraption that my dad and I constructed, and it's based on the Ondes Martenot. Basically, it's a pitch controller for modular synthesizer. I brought my baby.com along, which I've purely made specifically for this, so I didn't have to tie up my big modular with the pitch controller. If I got some cool patch I don't want to mess up, I can just set this thing up. And basically all it's doing is it's sweeping a potentiometer like you would do on an oscillator, but in a very controlled way. I replaced the pitch module, all the pots on a Q125 signal generator from Roger at .com, and I replaced them all with 15 turn pots. So they have a lot of range to them. Inside this contraption is basically just a box with a string, and this is just a sash string like you'd use on a Venetian blind, and a piece of PVC piping from Lowe's, where I got the oak as well. And inside there is just one single potentiometer. And the key thing about why Maurice Martenot was a brilliant guy is he figured out that if you put these finger divots directly in front of the notes, that you'd be able to land on concert pitch. Whereas, like David Skinner was elucidating too, that on a theremin it's very difficult to play actual melodies on it. I only know a couple people who've been able to do that. I mean, I have two myself, and it's great for science fiction noises, but really hard to make real. So I wanted to have something that I could actually control pitch with. Let me see if this works. So on the left-hand side, it's got a volume control. Just running through my guitar amp here. And just like a real instrument, you can calibrate it. Here's A440. And you can tune it to itself. So once you get that tuned, you can actually play it. So by moving your finger back and forth, just kind of like the movable keyboard on that, you can add that natural vibrato, but you have a target for your finger to kind of land in and give you a kind of a basic concert pitch. So you can obviously do a lot more with that than just a simple sine wave. I actually am using, I've always been in quest of the perfect sine wave, by the way. And I have tried so many modules, let me tell you, and I've never been happy with the character of anybody's module on a sine wave. But what I finally found was this MOTM 420 voltage-controlled filter and self-oscillation makes a nice sine wave. It has character to it. It has some harmonics that are kind of mystery harmonics that are mixed in with it. And that's my favorite sine wave, which is what you just heard. But you could use any module. It's just a control voltage device, so you could run it into anything that uses control voltage, whether it be a sequencer or whatever. I actually did use this on a track on my new CD, just because I wanted to get that kind of theremin type of sound, you know, and I used this device to do that with. So that's basically it.
DX7 is strictly for just visual reference?
The DX7 is, I think, unhooked up actually. But like when I just played it just now, I used it for visual reference. So I could see where F and G and A flat, and, you know. I mean, you can actually use a paper keyboard, just tape one on there if you wanted to. My original idea was, well, I was going to switch back and forth and play the keyboard and put my fingers through here real fast. You know. On the Martenot itself, it has kind of a more springy action, so you could move your hand up here and do that, and then back to here, you know.
You stick your little finger in it and use it as a filter or something.
Yeah, you can do that too. You can do that too. And then I have another filter pedal, which I didn't bring, a Yamaha, which I can change the timbre of the overall sound. So like, you know, certain sections are going to be brighter, you can make it more horn-like. And I've done that before, I just didn't bring it along today. So anyway, that was a big project that my dad and I worked on for about 4 months. He's a retired carpenter, so he did all the woodwork, and I just got some input from several synth guys about exactly how to rig up that Q125, which by the way is embedded inside this. I just took the panel off and put the electronics inside. So I like it because it lets me, like I said, get a melodic human quality out of just a basic oscillator